Welcome. In this video I'm going to show you how you can perform a post-hoc analysis after a goodness-of-fit test using Pairwise Goodness-of-Fit Test and R. I'm using Visual Studio Code with a Jupyter Lab and an R kernel, but the code should also work in, for example, RStudio. I'm going to be showing you how this could be done using my stikpetR library, which has a function just for this. The R version that I'm actually currently running is version 4.3, and I only have the basic packages that come with R pre-installed. Now, I'm not going to be focusing on how you can how this test exactly works. I have more info on my website. There's also an option to do pairwise binary tests, or there's even a chance to not do pairwise tests, but just look at the expected counts only. But this video will focus on just how to get the output. To show you this, I'll need some example data, so I'll load in a data file from the General Social Survey from 2012, adjusted for some example purposes. Once that file's been loaded, I don't actually need all the data, I just need one nominal field. So I'm going to be using the MAR1 field, which is actually the marital status. I'll store that under nominal field, and just to give you a quick impression, the table from this shows that, for example, 79 people indicated to be separated. Now, my stikpetR library you can install by first installing remotes, and then install GitHub and then stikpet/stikpetR, because it's only available on my GitHub account. And once you've installed it once, you can load it just as any other library. I'm not running this, you should uncomment this and then run, but I've already of course installed it. The function of interest is Pairwise GoF, which is Post-Hoc Pairwise Goodness-of-Fit. It only needs the nominal field in this case, but if you want you can also specify with test which specific test you want to perform. You can also specify expected counts and any other additional arguments. There's also an option to adjust the multiple testing. So I haven't listed it here, but it is available. So next we can run this, and now we get a lot of actually output. As you can see, it will show every possible combination of two categories, the sample size for each of those two categories, the observed proportion in the first category, so that's simply going to be for the first one 314 divided by the sum of these two. The expected proportion, which if we didn't specify anything is going to be 50%, 0.5. The test statistic, the degrees of freedom, and probably, well, almost probably the most important. The most important is probably the adjusted p-value. The p-value is the p-value without multiple testing correction, and the adjusted one has those. If this value is below a predefined threshold, usually 0.05, we would reject the assumption. In this case, that that in the population the two categories will have those expected counts, which was 50-50, so that they would be equal. In this case, they're significantly different from each other. And that actually goes if we look at the adjusted p column for every possible combination. It also shows the minimum expected count and the proportion of cells that actually has an expected count below 5, and a small description of the test that was actually used. So a lot of output in one go. If you like, you can also do the multinomial test. Of course, then you don't get a test statistic because this is an exact test, and actually it's now running a binomial test. So as you can see, instead we get the probability of the observed two sample sizes, the number of combinations it's checking, and then again the p-value and the adjusted p-value. If you like, you can compare that with if you would run nominal field and two-sided method being small p. If we had certain expectations, then, so for example like this, we can add that as a small data frame. And then once we have those expected counts, you can actually use them with xCount as an additional parameter, and that should give you then the results, but then using the expected counts as provided. It will actually adjust them for that you're only selecting 2 of them. Alright, I hope this was helpful and thank you for watching.